Good evening, welcome back to Virtual Pool 4 Online. We're here for another match in the 8-Ball World Championships, and I'm a bit late arriving. I'll give my excuse in a minute. The Larry Potman match has started. There's a match there waiting to start, but it looks as if Columbus hasn't showed up. So if the 10-minute timeout is about to expire in about a minute's time, that looks like one was got a bye with a forfeit from Columbus, I think. Anyway, let's just head into the room and I'll get the chat thing sorted. Hang on a minute. So this is a round 2 match, race to 11. And we're still in the first rack, which is good. Potman won the lag by the look of it. But Larry looks as if he's going to tidy up this first rack. Good evening to Hairpig. Well, my excuse, I was working till after 4 PM this afternoon. Got home, and I mean, when I was driving home, it was absolutely torrential rain. I'm talking about bucketing down. And the M77 motorway from Glasgow down to my home is absolutely chock-a-block at that time of night. So it was absolutely heaving with rain. I mean, loads of surface water, water spraying all over the place. Couldn't see your hand in front of your face. Wipers going full pelt. And anyway, I got home, got something to eat. The snooker was on at the time. The champion of champions snooker was on. I think Potman's gone. I think I've jinxed him straight away arriving in the room. And when I was watching the snooker after I had something to eat, I promptly fell asleep, as I normally do. I normally have a nap, and my nap overran. And then I woke up and I looked, and I came online. I looked at the bracket and I thought the Larry Potman match was on tonight. I'm talking to myself, and then I thought it was 7:30. No, it's 7 o'clock, because there was no match listed because the bloody thing had started. Good afternoon to Dwight. So that is why I'm late, and Potman has definitely gone. Well, Potman is more suited to this game than he is 9-ball, because it's a bit more strategic. He can use his head in this game a bit more. The big criticism I've got with Potman most of the time is he overthinks something. I think he overthinks too much, and you know, Larry's not used to this table either. We've seen Larry struggled early on in his first match to find the potting angles, but Potman might not be as generous as Larry's first opponent. At least he shouldn't be, and he could certainly pinch a few racks off of Larry. That's if he gets back in time. So the 10-minute countdown will have started. And with modern internet, there's no real reason why you should be getting disconnected unless there's some sort of issue. Oh, is it 5 minutes timeout? A 5-minute timeout rather than a 10-minute for getting disconnected? That's a bit harsh. Let's have a look at the... Oh no, I can't. I don't think I can... Oh yeah, I can. Let's see if we can find this calendar thing now. See, with the tournament not being up on the, with there not being a write up on the homepage, you've got to go and find the bloody tournament now. Tournament and 8-ball. Well, I could go to the chat in the lobby, but then I'd have to come back into the room because of that message that's up on the screen. Where's the 8-ball world? And then if we choose month, we should have it at the beginning there. What have we got? Match timeout 10 minutes. Now the 10 minutes is at the beginning of the match. I'm assuming it doesn't mention 5 minutes anywhere else, so I'm assuming it's still 10 minutes to get back into the room if you have a disconnect. Yeah, I don't see anything different there. Is he back in? Oh, he's arrived anyway, so his PC's needing repair. I don't know where Larry's seen this 5-minute thing. I'm looking and I can't see anything. Unless I'm half asleep yet, so I probably can't see anything. Blah, 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 blah. Match timeout is the only thing I see there is 10 minutes. So where Larry's seeing 5 minutes, I don't know. Anyway, we won't worry about that. Potman's back in for the time being. Larry 1-0 up. Potman on the stripes. Now, what's the angle like in this 12? He's not got enough. He's not got enough angle really to work with here. And he's got, if he had come back far enough, if he had got to there, if I can get my line to work, he could have cut that 11 and then tried to break out, but his chances are he would have ran into the 8. So he's got himself in trouble here. Good evening to Tommy. And Larry's, well, when Larry comes to the table, he's got just as much of a problem Potman has, of course, with those 2 balls and where the 3 ball's sitting, so both players have got work to do. I say tactically Potman is way more suited to this game, and he does play, he has played a fair bit, certainly not in the 10-footer, but he's certainly played a fair bit of 8-ball world rules. It still boils down to Potman taking his opportunities as and when he gets any. He has to make the most of them if he's going to stay in the match for a long period, or certainly to the business end of the match if he can. Now, I didn't see a note, a message coming up in the chat, but then again, it probably won't come up in this room. I'm looking to see if that other match has timed out. Let's have a quick look at the bracket. I can't... where was that Wanwa match? Who was he playing again? Columbus? Is it down the bottom? Where the hell is it? Or was it a first round match? I can't remember. God, it can't be a first round match. Why don't I see it? Or is it a one-loss side match? That's what it probably is. Goodness me, this is... Ah, there we go. Well, that's it. That looks the full story with that one. Why is it showing a score then? Was the match underway or something and Columbus disconnected? Because it's showing here. I'm reading that as 8-3. That's weird. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, Larry's got the big critical shot here. And of course, Potman has got his 11 ball block in the pocket, and Larry's just taking the opportunity to move things. I think he might be okay here. Yeah, he's on the 5. And he should be out. Oh, it's a race to 8. Well, the match must have finished then. Because Columbus wasn't in the room. Ah, right, so it's maybe bugged with the way that, however the match ended. That's why I'm confused. I was thinking that Columbus hadn't showed up or something, but no, I'm forgetting it was a race to 8 and a 1 loss side as well. This is what happens when you're half asleep. Well, Larry took the big risk, and I mean, you need that bit of luck the way the balls are going to move, and everything opened up for him there. 2-0 lead, and now, even at this early stage, Potman needs something to settle him in. He needs a ball and a shot, the obvious thing that everybody needs, a ball and a shot just to get going, and he's got a ball, and these balls are not bad. Let's look at the stripes and see what's good there. Well, if he took the 15 up top, he could get rid of that 14, because that's an issue. But then again, he's got to work his way back down here for this 10 and the 9. So he's got a dilemma either way he chooses here. And if you look at the solids are all open apart from the 6. So if he takes 15, 14 with an angle in the 14, now he's angling the 14. Let's have a quick look at that, because he doesn't want to be running into this 6. He needs to play this with a little bit of top and maybe left to avoid, if he can, that 6 ball. And if he gets the pace right, he'll either be on that as a backup, that one there, or the one into the middle. Well, I think he's just hit it plain ball, and he has avoided the 6. And now he's only got the 1 shot. And this is where he's got to do a bit of thinking. I would have played that pot with a bit of top and left to come this way. That way I had a choice. If I got the pace right, I could get that one. And if I got it wrong, I could always get that one. And I had a choice there. But this ball here, this one is the problem to get there. And he could have got there had he got straight in that one into the right centre and dropped down for the 10. So Potman's eating into his shot clock here. And that's not really improved the situation. If anything, it's made it worse. But he can stun this 9 in, and he can take the 10 up table. He's going to have to do it regardless, presuming he can see the 9. Let's have a look at the angle. Well, there's no problem here. I mean, it's just a little stun. If you've got full confidence and control of your mouse, you get to about there, you can run the 10 up the table. And if you run far enough and you've got the right angle, you've got a pot in the 13. See, he's not got there. That needed to be here. He had to do a little soft stunny draw just to come across. And he's now struggling to stay at the table. And this is going to be the downfall in the long term in this match if Potman can't get the shape. Well, he's left the 5 on. I thought he'd ended up playing a good shot there. He's left Larry a start. Now Larry's immediately thinking about that 6-ball. That's a guarantee. And that's the difference between the top end players and them players that ain't got there, because Larry's looking already to think about how to get in behind this 6-ball, and he could possibly try and do it. No, he can't, he's straight. But that's going to be his main concern. Now, the angle he's got in the 1, he's got enough, I think, to stun. Yeah, he can just, well, he's not taking it now. And he's too straight in the pink. He's got a bit of an angle, he's trying to get right in. Well, he's got there. But it's a lesson in how to deal with the problem ball. You know, as soon as Larry got to the table, he would have already had his eye on that 6-ball, and you know, to get there and find the opportunity to get on it, and he's done it. Now this is the one that's going to make or break the rack. I mean, 7-ball wide open, loads of room to get on it. In fact, he's just managed to hold it, so that'll do, and that's bad news for Potman. And it all went wrong when he didn't get to that line behind the 10. He ended up there, and that angle, that difference there, made the pot much more difficult. Bill's probably, well, Bill's more than likely working, and he may well have got called away. So Potman, on his break in that last rack, he got a ball, had the table at his mercy, but could not get the run out. And now he finds himself 3-0 down, and he's gone again. Well, the curious thing, Potman says he's got problems with his PC. I'd like to know what the problem is when he's getting disconnected with VP4. The problem wouldn't be his PC, the problem would be his router, his connection. Yeah, maybe Bill was in there and got bored stiff and fell asleep and lost the will to live. Good evening to Chico. So Larry's break in rack number 4 has come up dry. Potman's got first go, and well, I don't think I'm looking at what the choices are here. If you look at the stripes, you know, there's a problem if you take the stripes. There's a problem if you take the solids. But if he took the 5, see, that I would still prefer the solids, believe it or not. If he took the 5 and got back across the table to here, he could have got rid of that too. And if he had the angle, he could have stunned across for the 4. And these 2 balls, that 3-ball goes, and then that would open the 6. And sometimes you've got to study and convince yourself But anyway, Potman's made his choice, and it's really vital if he can hold himself together and put this away. It's looking better now that he's on the 9. And he doesn't want to hit that pink 4 ball. I think if he stuns this properly, you see that? To me, that shot there, he's got on the 15, but he's still running into balls when he doesn't really need to. You've got to be looking for optimum position. He's dead straight, and when he kills this cue ball, he's going to be dead straight in the 14 as well. You know, that's no good. He's now looking at the 13 or whatever that is up the table, or the 11 ball. You see, he's now got himself stuck over these 2 balls, and I think he should have stunned past that 4 to get the 14. You've got to be playing with a level of confidence to execute the shot. And Potman's now in trouble, even though he's looking at 11 ball. He wanted to get rid of the 14, and the way he played, the way he got there, he was always going to end up straight in this 14. And now he's having to do things the hard way again. And that's not getting there. You see, this is prime example of where it goes wrong, because you're not going through with the shots to get to there. You know, you need to get to that position, and you need to leave yourself the angle. Potman's failed there, and you know, this is chicken feed for Larry. He's not been made to work. And Potman's just going to get picked off here if he doesn't get his act together rather sharpish. But the only thing in his defence is he's not used to the 10-footer, but that's still no excuse for... he's played the game long enough. He should be knowing what he has to do. Execute those shots confidently, and you'll get there. You know, if you're not really committing yourself and you're not 100% confident, you're going to end up playing half-hearted shots and just running out of shape all the time. So there's a crisis here for Potman, and it's the opportunities he's getting and the opportunities that he's wasting. And Potman's now in the position of, you know, hoping Larry messes up and not leaving Potman much to do to pinch a rack. And that's not either the way to be working it either. You've got to do the business yourself. You can't be relying on Larry to be making that many mistakes to keep you in the game. Good evening to Sergaresh. And Larry's got a nice little angle on the 6, and whatever he does here, he's got to get out to that middle diamond at least, in the middle of the table there. I mean, I don't know, he could be going up the table to try and take it in the side, but he needs to get on the right side of the table whatever happens. Oh, he's making hard work of this, Larry. I mean, he should have just played the simple shot and just get out into the table. He's now having to cut this back. Should still get it though. Yeah. There's loads of room in the 10-footer once the balls start to disappear. And it was just a matter of Larry getting it done. But that's the difference. Larry's getting it done when he's given those opportunities. And this could be a bit of a bloodbath, because Potman's not showing a great deal of confidence. And I think the longer it goes without him getting something on the board, the more desperate he's going to become, and then the more he's going to probably play into Larry's hands, taking on stuff he shouldn't be doing. And the worst things happen for Potman as well. He's come up dry in his break. We've got the two solids bottom right hand corner. Well, they go, obviously, if you take the 5, get it out of the way. Larry's going for the stripes. Open pocket down here. And all the stripes in the open, and the 8 ball will go into the side. It will go into the top right hand corner. And he's got an adjacent ball to get on the 8 as well. So it's all looking good for Larry here. I think he might want to keep that 9 ball there. He could try and kill the cue ball and play the 15 onto the 13 that's over the pocket. I think it's the 13 that's over the pocket. Or he could just chip it in and drop up for the 15. That's a wee bit more tricky. Let's have a look. What ball's that? Oh, it's a 12. He's just running through to the, well, trying to get to the top rail, but this is suddenly become a wee bit tricky where he's left himself. And now he's having to take the 9 first. We'll see if that works out. He can still, if he gets there, play the 15 onto that 12. He might be running down table. No, he's going to try and come out behind the 15. But this is just suddenly a wee bit tricky, because he has to get nicely on that 15, and now it's gone wrong. How much easier would it have been to get on that 8 ball having left the 9 ball as the last ball? It would have been dead simple. And now he's going to have to play, well, a big cut, but he's just got to run this cue ball to try and get any sort of sight on this 8. Well, I suppose the outcome there is no harm done. He's blocked that pocket, but it doesn't really matter that the ball is there. It's the fact that Potman's under so much pressure now, and his balls are in an ugly shape, especially in the 3 and the 6. So Potman's got an easy safety, and that's really what he should be doing. He should be knocking Larry behind the 3 ball, but he has to look for maybe something better than that, because Larry's got if he can see that side rail, the long rail, he's going to kick that 15 in. And Potman's missed a hit. Tried to improve the situation there, but he really got to wind in and try and get Larry in trouble here. He can stun the 2, but again, the problem with it is not a difficult kick for Larry, so he has to play something better than that. Why doesn't he just come down here, try and kick that, and as long as he gets to a rail? Well, he's decided he's going to keep potting balls, and I don't know whether that's the wisest move. Good evening to Albie. Potman's tried to break out the 6 and 3, and his biggest mistake here is potting this 4 and not playing a safety next. Now he can easily try and get in behind that 6 or 3 and lock it. He's got to lock something up here and prevent Larry having an angle without using 2 rails. He has to make this difficult, and this is going to be a disaster. You see what I mean about the confidence to play a shot? That's just... It was doomed to failure because he didn't get a good safety in early on in his visit there. And, provided Larry can read the angle here on this one, it's going to end up a nightmare for Potman. Oh dear. Well, Larry, 5-0 up, and he hasn't had to work for it really. He's just had to do what's there. Just deal with what's in front of him. Larry's break, ball in the break. Now, of course, now the 8 ball's very near this bottom right hand corner pocket, and that's preventing the potting of whatever choice of balls he's going for. Well, Larry may well be the aggressor in trying to improve the situation, but once he's potted enough balls, you can be damn sure he's not going to leave Potman very much. Like that. He's opened the pocket up, and he's left Potman with nothing inviting at all. Okay, there's a 6 ball, but that's not easy, and that's what I'm talking about. Improve the situation, open that pocket up for Larry's stripes, and leave Potman virtually nothing to work with here. That's the ideal way to go about it. Good evening to Semi-Pro. And Potman's sitting scratching his head, wondering what he can do here. He's going to be forced into trying to play this cut in the 2. If he can see it, that is. If he cuts the 2, he might brush the 7. And let's have a look. Well, that 2 ball doesn't really hinder Larry from potting the 13 if it comes to it, because he could hit the 13 into the side rail and hit the 2 and it will still go into the pocket. It will squeeze in clean if you get really good on it, but I think that's maybe what he's going to have a look at the moment. He's still got the 15 in the side, but he might have a good look at the 13 just to see if he can just squeeze it in. Yeah, it might just nudge in off the 2. If he's unsure, he'd be better hitting it to the rail. Yeah, you see, that's what he tried, and it, believe it or not, missed the 2, but he'll take that. Although his cue ball's nudged the 9 out of play. I don't believe the 9 was there when he came to the table. It's now guarded by the 4 and 5. But Larry's in command at the moment in this position in the table. Potman's going to have to do something really good to get the upper hand the way it's sitting, and Potman's running out of time because his extensions have gone. Well, he can see the 6, but he can't do anything other than pot it because he's dead straight. Well, he's called the cross bank into the right centre pocket. Well, Larry's going to cut the 11, go for the breakout, I would think. And if he can see the 11, maybe that 3's a bit. No, he can see it. Once he plays this, he'll go for the breakout in his 9 ball. And now the obvious thing is the angle in the 10 takes him up the table if he plays that really nasty cut in the 10. And then he would have the 15, but he'd maybe end up having to play the 9 ball onto the 2 to make the combo. He's going to play the little billiard off the 9. Or is it a little stun? Looks like a little stun. Now, how's his luck? Well, he's blocked in the 10. And that 9 ball has just done him. It's just blocked the path to the 15. And all of a sudden, now does that go, or is he going to play the combo? Well, he's going for the cut. Well, this is a big shot, even bigger for Potman if Larry doesn't get this in. Well, now that was just asking a bit too much, but it's not the miss that Larry's just made, it's what Potman does here that counts, because the 3 ball is the problem. He's right next to it, he's got no shot on it as it is, and he immediately has to find a way to get on that 3, and he can do it now. If he could try and go over towards the 10. Well, Potman sees it different. Is that the 10 ball there? Yeah, he could have drawn across to at least see that 3 ball that side. And now the angle he's got in the 4 is running up towards the 9. Unless he does something with the cue ball. If he draws back off the 4, he can play the 5. I see that's just ended up absolutely nowhere. And again, I still think the first mistake he made was the wrong choice. He had to try and draw a crossover towards that 10 with the angle he had on that pot, and he could have got on that 3. And now he's blown it. Well, this is just not the way to do it, I'm afraid. And that's not a great shot either. I mean, that's left Larry the pot up the table. Now, the angle that Larry's got here, he may well run into this 5. It's hard to say whether there's enough. The pot angle, so he's running into the 5 and it's going to leave him a shot in the 15. Now, or the 9, if you can see it. Yes, you can see the 9. Well, Larry's went for the stun to hold for the 15. He wasn't in good shape in the 15, and Potman has got another life. And this simply has to go. You know, this is what I mean. He spends an awful lot of time looking around for problems that aren't there. He can cut this in and brush off that 15 or whatever ball it is, and he's going to leave himself an awkward shot. Now he's going for the draw to draw back, and that's why he's then missed a 3. So I don't think there was much confidence either way in what he was going to play. And I think that's his second and last chance in this rack to get off the mark. But he's really, really struggling. I can sense it. He just does not have the confidence in what he's doing. And he's a better player than this. But this is where, you know, I mean, I can say with confidence, had I that table in front of me, I would have cleared up no problem. Because I'm well used to the 10-footer. I mean, that's basically all I play nowadays, and I'm a lot more comfortable than a lot of the players have been. And Potman's really, really just struggling. And as I say, he's thinking and looking and thinking and looking. And by the time he's thought, he's running out of time. But it's Potman's break, 6-0 down. He's got a ball. And, well, I don't think it really matters what he picks. I mean, the 4 ball, if it was the solids, is obviously an issue where it's sitting. But all the other balls in the solids are reasonably good. The one's a wee bit dodgy because it's in an awkward position, and you'd have to get to the side, or you'd have to cut the one. The solids, the stripes, well, they're all on. Even that 15 ball, it goes in, the 12, the pink 12, it goes into the side. Everything's there in the stripes. But the other issue, of course, is where the 8 ball is. Now, yeah, he's got absolutely no angle to work with in that 13, playing it there. Now, I know, I mean, this shot he's got here's tough as it is, queuing over that 15, but the one thing I'd be thinking about, and I'm way ahead of where Potman is here, I'd be thinking about this 9 ball, getting out and getting an angle on that, whatever ball it is there, and nudging into the 8 to improve the situation. Now, that's where you have to ride your luck, because you don't know where it's going, but if you get the right angle, you can take care of that 8 ball and bring it into play. If you get a nice hit and bring it into the middle of the table, you might have a shot somewhere. But he has to think about that. Now, has he thought about that? Because this is where the business end is. Pot the 9, get out to about here, pot that ball, break the 8 ball out. I mean, this 10 ball, or where he is now, is absolutely nowhere. He's got to get right down in this 9. I don't know why he's looking up there. He's got to get the 11, get down in the 9. Or take the 11 and get the 10, I should say. Forget the 10 in the rail. Well, I mean, if he's got the chance to do it now, pot the 9, get out to here. If you break the 8 out, you're burn lucky not to have a shot in the 10. But he has to get this to get the 8. There's no point in looking anywhere else. Now, if he takes the 10 now, he's not going to be getting himself good in the 9, as good as he is at the moment. Well, don't say the commentator isn't right here, because this is about to go pear-shaped if he doesn't get good on this 9. And now he's ending up playing it from absolutely nowhere where you'd want to be. And now he's got to nurse the 9 in. And it looks as if he's going to try and maybe leave an angle that way. And it has to be something like this to get into the 8. But, well, I can't work it out. You see, he's the wrong side anyway. He was never going to break the 8 ball. So that, again, Potman does not see the shot. He doesn't see the opportunity to deal with that 8. And Larry, of course, getting rid of the blocking ball, leaving it absolutely impossible for Potman to get good on this 8 ball. He's given him an open shot. Now, he might try a little. I mean, you could go for it, but I don't know whether the angle's good enough to do it. You could play this with a bit of right. Well, he's just trying to pot his ball. But he's got nowhere for the 8 to go. And he's got virtually no chance of leaving any safe on here. Well, he's called the corner pocket where the 2 is. I don't know how this is going to go in. He's just trying to lock up with the 1, which was a sensible shot, but Larry can deal with that immediately. He's left the angle in the 2 just to cut this, get the little chip, and that'll be enough. Although the cue ball's gone. Oh, well, that was Potman's chance there, had that gone in. But I think that 1 ball has just been chipped enough for Larry to get on it. And of course, he's got to get the good shot to get there, and he can do it off this 3 ball. Because if you get good off, well, he can do it off the 4 as well, as a matter of fact. You can just, or can he? It might be a wee bit more of a cut than he would like. That'll do it. He takes it now. He may well end up brushing off the 8 ball, and then he'll have to go maybe forward. And if he does that, he's going to leave himself long on his next pot. Well, he's drawn off it. So, trying to get into the table. He'll take that. Well, what are the odds on an 11 zilch in this match? Because it's looking very much like it, I'm afraid. Well, you're thinking about No Man's Sky. Well, I'm actually driving my bus in Brazil at the moment. That's what I'm doing. So 7-0 to Larry. And Larry's break has ended up in an ugly mess. It's dry. But Larry can just sit back in his chair and just bide his time, because his chance will come. Well, I reckon the only way Potman's going to get a rack here is Larry giving it to him, to be brutally frank. And when I say giving it to him, Larry's going to foul on the 8 ball, he's going to scratch. Potman's just going to have to pot the 8 ball to win it. That's the only way I think Potman's going to win a rack here, because he's shown absolutely no inclination to grab a rack by the scruff of the neck and get the job done. He's faffing about, and he's making wrong shot choices for a start, and I'm no expert, but I can see trouble when there's trouble, and Potman isn't seeing it. He's going about it the wrong way most of the time. And that, I mean, anybody questions that, then you've got to say, well, why is Larry 7-0 up then? It ain't that Larry's been playing great, because he hasn't had to. He's picked up all the bits and pieces when they're given to him, and done what's required. Simple as that. But suddenly Potman has become all too aware of the big difference between playing this game in a 9-footer and coming to the 10-footer, as many other players have already found out as well. Good evening to Jose. Well, Larry's going to brush off the 10, but he needs to make sure he moves to a position where he's got a shot, which he has done. He can roll the 7 in now. This is where Larry is getting wise, because again, he's going to take the 7, he's going to take the 4, and he's going to take the 1. And the problem with that, though, is it's a big shot, because he then has to get up for the 6, but he's not going to get a better chance to get rid of the 1. And the problem with taking the 1 is he's going to be running into this 13, and he might not end up having a shot on the 6, but he's going to have a go at it and ride his luck, and he might get lucky. Whether he can stun by it without catching it, we'll soon find out. Yeah, he's managed to avoid it. It's always going to be left awkward. I mean, this is not easy. And then, of course, the other issue is finding his way to the 8 ball. So, straight away with that block on the 8 ball into this bottom left-hand corner here, there's a glimmer of hope for Potman to actually have an opportunity here, as and when he gets back in. I'll need to go to the bathroom just now, hang on. That might be Potman gone for good. I think he's seen enough. If he does get back, Larry's got the tough. I mean, the pot is difficult as it is, but he's got a slim chance of getting good in this 8. But Larry's going to take his medicine, because with the cut on that 6, he's probably going to play fairly plain ball and just try and get this cue ball to come back down this side. And if he goes down to here or that far, he's got 8 into the side. So he doesn't have to work the cue ball a great deal to get on this 8. He just has to get the pace right. And that would be the shot. Just a full concentration in the pot and let the cue ball do the rest of the work. And he could be out. There's good odds that if he pots this 6, he'll get down low enough onto this 8. If Potman comes back. Well, I wish he would give us a wee bit more detail on what this problem is, because the problem could be. I mean, he might have had the same. He could have the same problem I had, and I had those. What do you call them on my PC, which was overheating the processor. And once I get malware bites into it and get rid of all of that crap, what do you call those things again? I had about 4 or 5 of them on my PC that obviously I didn't know about, and they were working away in the background. Miners, I had a stack of them, and the PC was cutting out because it was just, and I was wondering, you heard me talking about it for a long while. I was checking what the errors were, and it was all power errors and heating errors and stuff like that, or overheating. And of course you're thinking it's a fault in the PC, but it's not. And this is the type of thing that happens. Your PC just reboots, and it restarts until the same bloody thing starts again, and then there you go again. So you think it's a faulty PC, and it isn't. And if I was Potman, I'd be wanting a bit more detail off him as to what his problem is when he says he's got a problem with the PC, because the first thing I would do now, from my own experience, is get malware bites running on it, and that'll find all of that crap, and that'll solve the problem. Yeah, I think Potman has had enough anyway. So the match is gone. Larry goes through, and I think it could have ended up 11-0 to Larry. So let's now have a look at the bracket and see how things are going. We'll also have a look at the main page in the bracket just to see what matches are outstanding. If we go from top to bottom, we've got a round 3 match set up between Shibo and Bill. We've got Albinario and Semi-Pro to go at it. Now the deadline for these matches is the 25th of the month, so there's a good few days away before players have to start rushing in to get matches played. If we go further down, we've got Bedhead. Well, that's still showing, that's it now going through. We've now got Bedhead against Larry, so everything steps up a level now. That's going to be a tough match either way. And now we have Keith. Now, a bit of information for you guys in case you don't know. This is something I found out yesterday. Keith has got a full dose of COVID. He's had it for a week and it wasn't bad. He said that initially it was, just like having a cold, but then things took a turn for the worse, and he actually was having problems breathing, and he had to get the paramedics in, and I don't know what his condition is as of now. If he's any better, I'll try and find out. But there's 1 day left, I think, in the deadline of this match, but I'm sure that can be extended if Keith feels up to it to try and get it played. But At the moment, he might have been taken into hospital. What's that, Larry? I can't read that because it's white. Anyway, what was I saying there? Anyway, that's the match. Keith and Mr. Fox. Cobra's waiting in the winner. And further down, we've got Cheeky Chico to play Mr. Strocum in a couple of days' time. That's at 10:15 at night. No, wait a minute. What time's that? Yes, 9:45. I won't be there for that one. And what else have we got? We've got Jeeves to play Stubb in round 3. And further down, we've got Sergresh and Pater Invictus. That might end up in a forfeit and Sergresh going through anyway. And then Hazard to play John Boo. Now, back to the event. So, today is the 16th. So, 2 days' time, we have that match with Mr. Strocum and Chico at 9:45 GMT. Way too late for me. Casino Gym in a couple of days after that, and then Mooncake Inspector Dawn at 7:30 on November the 21st. I'll be there for that. And DJ Simon in LS3 in the one lost side as well. I think that's Friday at 7:30. I might be wrong. I'll be there for that one as well. So, what was Larry saying there? Because I couldn't read it. Oh, get the jab. Well, like I say, I've not had it. And I'll ride my luck. Anyway, there's no other matches tonight, folks. So I got here eventually, but in the end, we didn't really have a match because Potman was not at the races. So well done to Larry. And good luck to Larry in his next match because it's going to be a different kettle of fish against Bedhead. It's going to be a toughie. That room's still stuck up there, and I think is it Mr. Bill that's sleeping in it? Yes, Bill's stuck in there. So what's that? A best of 5 snooker. Yeah, well, there's nothing else doing tonight. So that is it, guys. It was short and sweet. Well done to Larry. If Potman comes back online, I'm going to question him a bit and find out exactly what his problem is to see whether it is something stupid like that he hasn't looked into. Because that's what I mean. I was stupid and I never thought about that, but it turned out that's what it was. Because I haven't been having problems since. He might want to do that first before he starts panicking and thinking things are falling apart. So I am going to head out, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll be back, no doubt, for some other matches in this event. Until then, I'll bid you good night.